President Joe Biden is traveling to Colorado today. His trip here to the Centennial State is part of an effort to protect and conserve America's iconic outdoor spaces. While here, he'll designate Camp Hale near Leadville as a national monument. With rising inflation, demand for food assistance is at an all-time high. The city of Denver is stepping in, the program bringing much-needed help. And the Broncos set to take on the LA Chargers for Monday Night Football. It'll be their fourth primetime game in 6 weeks. Russell Wilson is expected to hit the field with a shoulder injury. The big question is, for how long? Thanks for joining us on Denver 7 News at 11. I'm Micah Smith. We begin with breaking news. President Joe Biden is in the air on his way here to Colorado. This morning, this video was shot just a few hours ago from Joint Base Andrews as the president boarded Air Force One for his trip here. The president will be here in our state as a part of an effort to protect and conserve America's iconic outdoor spaces. He'll designate Camp Hale near Leadville as a national monument. It was a U.S. Army mountain training site during World War II. We'll continue to follow this story and bring you any updates as we get them here on Denver 7. During today's visit to Colorado, President Biden will appear alongside Senator Michael Bennet, who is up for re-election this year. Bennet finds himself in a race for re-election that some say is more competitive than expected. This is part of a Western swing tour for Biden, which also takes him to California, Nevada, and Arizona. Let's go back to Camp Hale for a second. Some have argued against the designation of Camp Hale as a national monument because it could prevent future oil and gas drilling, as well as mining operations on the land. Ahead of his visit to Colorado, President Biden weighed in on the war in Ukraine. Last night on CNN, the president now says he does not think Russian President Vladimir Putin will use nuclear weapons on the battlefield in Ukraine. This after delivering a warning to Moscow last week, saying Putin's threats could result in Armageddon. ABC's Justin Finch reports.
For 3 days in a row, Russian missiles have slammed into Ukrainian cities, killing more than a dozen citizens and wounding more than 100. Indiscriminate attacks some military experts consider desperate, raising concerns Russia's President Putin could feel pressure to launch tactical nuclear weapons, something President Biden tells CNN could lead to Armageddon.
And the whole point I was making was it could lead to just a horrible outcome. And not because anybody intends to turn it into a world war or anything, but it just, once you use a nuclear weapon, the mistakes that can be made, the miscalculations, who knows what would happen.
The president saying he now does not actually believe Putin will use nuclear weapons, describing Putin as rational, but who miscalculated in waging war on Ukraine. Meeting virtually with Ukraine's President Zelensky Tuesday, Biden, along with the G7 group of nations, pledged more financial and military support for Ukraine. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin meeting with NATO partners today.
We will continue to boost Ukraine's defensive capabilities for today's urgent needs and for the long haul.
Zelensky calling on the West to fast-track air defense systems to combat Russia's air assaults. Emergency workers scrambling to rescue children and families. The United Nations Nuclear Watchdog Agency reports the Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant is now using generator power after Russian attacks in the area knocked out external electricity to the plant. Today, Russia's intelligence service reporting it's made 8 arrests in connection to last weekend's bombing of the strategic Kerch Strait bridge to Crimea, which Putin says prompted him to launch that barrage of air assaults across Ukraine. Justin Finch, ABC News, Washington.
Well, it has been a beautiful start to this fall day all along the Front Range. Here's a live look now from our Lookout Mountain camera. Wow, beautiful, clear skies. Time to check in with Denver 7's Katie LaSalle. Katie, will this fall-like weather stick around for us?
You know what, Micah? Yeah, we have some really gorgeous days ahead as we round out this week. Yesterday, it was very blustery with a few showers. It will be breezy at times, especially over higher terrain and across the eastern plains as we get into this afternoon. And right now, last recorded wind gusts near Sterling at 32 miles per hour. Skies are clear across the state. No advisories in place and will stay sunny for the rest of this Wednesday. Temperatures outside, we're currently in the high 50s, low 60s, so so quite comfortable. Still in 30s and 40s over portions of Colorado's high country, but later on this afternoon, right around 3 p.m., we're expecting our daytime highs to enter the upper 60s, low 70s over the metro area and eastern plains. Across the state, it'll be 50s and 60s into the mountains. A touch cooler for tomorrow. We're tracking a weak but dry weather disturbance. I'll show you that coming up in your full forecast.
Right, looking forward to it, Katie. Well, with rising inflation, demand for food assistance is at an all-time high. Denver 7's Jessica Crawford reports on the city of Denver's new approach to help those in need.
Even though prices are going up, Brian, so many of us may take for granted being able to just go to our local neighborhood grocery store like this one, pick up the food that we want for the most part, whenever we want to. Well, this program could expand that ability for more people by giving them gift cards. And the money does come from COVID relief funds. It could help thousands of families, but first they're going to have to qualify. So let's take a look at what it means to be able to qualify for this program. If you're a single person, then you have to make $27,000 per year or less. For families of 4, they have to make $55,000 per year or less. The cards are on a first come, first served basis, and here's how you can get one. Denver residents can apply right now on the city's website by calling 720-944-3080 or by emailing DHS Inflation Relief at denvergov.org. And if you're eligible, Denver Human Services staff will reach out to you next week so that you can pick up your gift card by walking up to one of their locations. If you don't get a gift card, then help is still available to you at DHS Mobile Food Pantry or at a number of upcoming events. The city will be giving out 8,000 boxes of food. There's in fact an event happening this Saturday and then 2 others after that throughout this month. If you're still in need of food assistance, then you can reach out to DHS directly, and that number is 1-800-536-5298. In Denver, I'm Jessica Crawford, Denver 7.
So many families in need there, Jessica, and there's more help available. Applications are now open for Denver's Basic Income Project. The program will award varying amounts of cash to 820 homeless individuals or families in Denver. The vision is to shorten the timeline for getting into stable housing and create a stronger foundation for finding steady jobs. The Colorado Coalition for the Homeless will track how people use the money. The application process is open through November 3rd. Whether you're buying or renting, we all know how expensive housing is. This morning, we're going in depth, looking at the rise in rent prices, the impact of evictions, and the statewide housing sales report that's released this morning. There were about 8,200 new listings in September. That's down 8%, but that's partially the season because they dropped 4% last year at this time. The median sales price statewide last month was $560,000, down $10,000 from last month. Price drops are good for buyers, but it's making it harder for sellers.
Sellers need to know just a little bit more patience is required. Our days on market are going up. It's not hours anymore, and quite frankly, it's no longer just days on market that it takes. Last month in Denver particularly, it was 21 days. I believe it was 26 statewide. So, a couple weeks on market is becoming the norm again.
And while 8,200 new listings sounds pretty good, what does that really mean? Experts say that's about 2 months of inventory. That's better than a few months ago when we had less than even 2 weeks of inventory. And we know renters are seeing crazy price increases right now. In the past year, or the first year of the pandemic, rent in Denver dropped 3.7%. Rent dropped about 2% in the suburbs, according to apartmentlist.com. But from the start of the pandemic to now, rent in Denver has increased 16%. And in the suburbs, it's up 25%. While rent is going up, experts say evictions are not. In September, there were more than 3,800 eviction filings, a heartbreaking and difficult situation for every one of those households. But the Colorado Apartment Association says that number is about average for the last 20 years. Tonight, the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office is holding a Family Technology Safety Night. One investigator told us it's important to learn what apps your kids are using.
Ask questions. If you don't understand something, ask your kid a question. What is this app? What is it used for? Well, show me how you use it. And a lot of times kids will be pretty cooperative and they're going to show their parents how to use the app and the different features. And maybe there's some features on there that parents don't know about and the kid is not willing to share. But if you have at least a basic foundation that you can use this app, then you can start to figure out those other things.
Investigators say the top apps are the ones we've all heard about: Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. But parents need to know Snapchat actually has a hidden photo vault, and the privacy settings are really important. You can learn more at the Technology Night tonight at Ute Meadows Elementary School, or go to chizo.org and look under the Resources tab for the parent booklet. Chizo is the mascot for the Sheriff's Office unit that deals with internet crimes against kids. All right, the Broncos visit LA to take on the Chargers for Monday Night Football. For better or worse, they've been in the spotlight a lot this season. It'll be their 4th primetime game in 6 weeks. Quarterback Russell Wilson says he should be ready to play after injuring his right shoulder, and that's his throwing arm. Head coach Nathaniel Hackett won't say exactly how long Russ will be playing in pain, but that the 11 days between their last game and Monday night should help. You can watch the game right here on Denver 7. Coverage starts at 5. Kickoff is just after 6, and stick around for post-game coverage. This may be your chance to score a souvenir from Colorado Ski Country, the resort auctioning off old lift chairs and how to get your hands on one. Plus, it's opening season for the Avs tonight, the team unveiling a surprise for fans just before the game.